How much money do you need to start a high-ticket dropshipping business? Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In this video, we are going to discuss one of the most common and most important questions when it comes to starting a high-ticket dropshipping business. Let me make this very clear up front. I am not an accountant, I'm not a CPA, I am not a financial advisor, I do not have a finance background. What I'm going to be discussing is really just how I would recommend budgeting when starting a high-ticket dropshipping business. I'm going to cover different areas in which you will need to spend money. I will cover some areas where I recommend spending money, but it's not required, and just going to do my best to give a comprehensive view at an overall budget that you might need to start a high-ticket dropshipping business based on my experience. So without further ado, let's jump right into the first category. When creating an online business or any business in general, you will need to set up a legal business entity. If you are setting up a business entity in the United States, this can be done through your respective state's Secretary of State department. And I'm sure this varies from state to state, but in my home state of Iowa, the business filing fee to set up my LLC initially was $50. Beyond that, you will also need to apply for a sales tax permit. This is also dependent on the state that you live in, but in the state of Iowa, this was also $50. So upfront, $100 for business filing fees. The next kind of umbrella of funding that you will need to be prepared for is everything to do with Shopify. Shopify offers a 14-day free trial. I will put a link to it in the description below. Once that free trial is over, the basic plan is $29 per month. And in general, for anyone that's getting started or even people that have been in this for a few years, the basic plan is generally all that you'll need. The next thing under the Shopify umbrella is your domain. Generally, this will cost $14 per year. So obviously very inexpensive, just a little over $1 per month, but it's billed annually, so you just buy it up front and then you have it for a year. When it comes to actually building your website within Shopify, I do recommend buying a quality pre-built theme. These will cost anywhere from $250 to $300. This is not required, but me personally, I am not technically savvy. I'm not great with coding custom CSS. In the interest of saving time and effort and having a really nice looking and functional website, I generally think it is worth buying a pre-built theme. That said, Shopify does offer some free pre-built themes. I just don't think they're quite as well suited for high-ticket dropshipping specifically. So I would plan on around $250 for a pre-built theme. The last thing within the Shopify umbrella is Shopify apps. There are a lot of apps that I cover pretty in depth in my course. Not all of them are necessarily required, but they make life a heck of a lot easier. They will enhance your website way better than any code, at least that I can do. But as far as what I see as the required apps, this will total out to about $50 per month across all of them. These apps include a data feed to Google Merchant Center. This also includes a chatbot on your website, which offers customers a way to either chat with you or get automated responses. Just very basic things that create a good shopping experience and also automate some processes for you, so it saves you time and energy. There are quite a few apps that I would recommend that aren't necessarily required, and this is something that I do dive into in my course. But as far as getting a business off the ground on a limited budget, I would say $50 a month, plan on that for apps. The next umbrella of budgeting is communication, and I mean a business phone number and a business email address. A business phone number with the service that I recommend in my course is $31 per month, and I recommend using Google Workspace or Gmail for setting up your business email with your business's domain, and per email address this will cost $12 per month. Both of these I think are required items to have success in this business. You want to provide customers a way to get a hold of you, whether it's via phone or via email. I very much recommend having both. The last and the largest budgeting umbrella is Google Ads. And your budget when it comes to Google Ads is what will really influence how quickly your business grows. So it's worth knowing up front that Google Ads will actually give you a $500 credit after you spend your first $500 in Google Ads. So in other words, your first $500 spent on Google Ads is free. And that being said, when it comes to daily budgets, I'm going to walk through what I recommend as a bare minimum amount a recommended amount, and a if you can afford it amount. So for the bare minimum, I recommend being able to spend $20 per day for a month. So at the end of a month, this would come out to about $600 total, and obviously you would get $500 of that back from your first $500 spent on Google Ads. For the recommended starting point, I recommend spending $30 a day for a month. This would come out to roughly $900 after a month, and obviously $500 of that you would get back. And if you can afford it, I recommend spending $50 a day for a month. This would come out to about $1,500 per month, and once again, a third of that you would get back in Google Ads credit. As I mentioned before, your ability to spend money on Google Ads is what will really influence your growth and your progress the most. Ultimately, if you want to see immediate revenue or revenue within the first few weeks, this is a business model in which you need to spend money to make money. The biggest advantage of high-ticket dropshipping is the ability to profit an enormous amount per sale, which would obviously make up for a large portion of your ad spend in any given time frame. So let's say you are spending $30 a day for a month. After spending $500, you get a $500 credit, so over the course of a month, you're really just spending $400 of your own money. And let's say you get 2 sales of $3,000 value each, and each sale profits you $900. That means the gross profit from those sales would come out to $1,800. And so over the course of the first month, assuming that you have spent your $500 threshold, you get $500 back, and you spend $400 of your own money, your net profit will be around $1,400. This is obviously an arbitrary example just to kind of give you a rough idea of how the business model works and how the profitability works. But when it comes to Google Ads, the more you're able to spend and the higher you're able to bid on your ads, the higher ranked your ads will be on the page and the higher your conversion rate will be. So over the course of the first month or two, the goal is really for your Google Ads to gather data for you to see how people are interacting with your website, which products gain the most interest, and most importantly, which products convert the most. Once you've identified this, then it's time to start scaling your ad spend, and assuming that you have optimized your conversion rate on your actual website, your revenue should scale proportionately with your ad spend. Some people have their first sale the day that they start running ads, and for some people it takes a few weeks to see a single sale come in. That was the boat that I fell into, but I had a couple friends that were making sales right off the bat. My problem was I just had a shitty website. So all in all, it is very, very possible to start profiting immediately, but it is worth noting that it might take a few weeks to really start seeing results. So to wrap this up, let's review the total bare minimum budget that I would recommend. So business filing fees, $50, Shopify fees, $29 for the basic plan after a 14-day free trial, a website pre-built theme, $250 to $300, required Shopify apps, $50 per month, business phone number, $31 per month, Google Workspace, $12 per month, Google Ads, $600. So all in all, this comes out to $1,022. And ultimately, when it comes to budgeting for this and budgeting for any business venture, you do need to be somewhat comfortable with the idea that you might not get this money back. Nothing in e-commerce is guaranteed, but I will say, especially if you have a good framework to follow, your chances of success are much higher. I have about 120 students in my program right now, and while this course is still fairly new, I have several students that are beginning to make consistent sales. So as always, I will put a link to my course below, and I will also put a link for a Shopify 14-day free trial, which supports me as a Shopify affiliate. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the good stuff. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below or send me an email. So until next time, farewell.